निर्मल माता जय देवी, जय जय भवानी, जय जय शिवानी, निर्मल माता जय देवी। सहज योगदायिनी निर्मल माँ, सहज योगदायिनी निर्मल माँ, सहस्रार स्वामिनी निर्मल माँ, सहस्रार स्वामिनी निर्मल माँ, प्रदायिनी निर्मल माँ, मोक्ष प्रदायिनी निर्मल माँ। जय जय भवानी, जय जय शिवानी, निर्मल माता जय देवी, जय जय भवानी, जय जय शिवानी, निर्मल माता जय देवी। जय महालक्ष्मी निर्मल माँ, जय महालक्ष्मी निर्मल माँ, जय महाकाली निर्मल माँ, जय महाकाली निर्मल माँ, जय महासरस्वती निर्मल माँ, जय महासरस्वती निर्मल माँ। जय जय भवानी, जय जय शिवानी, निर्मल माता जय देवी, जय जय भवानी, जय जय शिवानी, निर्मल माता जय देवी। मंगलदायिनी निर्मल माँ, मंगलदायिनी
निर्मल माँ,
विद्यादायिनी निर्मल माँ,
विद्यादायिनी निर्मल माँ,
शक्तिदायिनी निर्मल माँ,
शक्तिदायिनी निर्मल माँ,
You see, here we are in a seminar, and we are all Saj Yogis, and we're having a good time, we're cracking jokes, and we're discussing things, etc., etc. But this is all very well. I mean, one can enjoy oneself. In fact, one should enjoy oneself, because the whole creation has been created in such a way that we should enjoy ourselves. From the dawn of the creation, the Shri Adi Shakti of the universe has played out a drama using her deities, using all the powers that she created, to create a universe so beautiful that it should be possible for us to live in it in complete joy and complete enjoyment of our existence. If one gives you an example, yesterday we sat and we listened to ragas. These ragas themselves were inspired by the Shri Adi Shakti in realized souls who gave them to the world. The whole thing has been created by her in her different aspects, so that we should enjoy ourselves and so that we should not be miserable. And why does she want us to be happy? Because it is when you are happy and relaxed that the power of God can work in you to raise you to a great height for which you were destined. You see, this whole drama that has taken place is not a drama without purpose. Within it lies something that is profoundly important. And that something which is profoundly important is the awareness of God, the Absolute, the Almighty. And this is the whole purpose of Sahaja Yoga. All the different techniques we use are a bridge to this. You see, you have to understand what is Shri Mataji on this earth. She is the Adi Shakti. Now, how many people know what is the Adi Shakti? The Adi Shakti is the power of God Almighty Himself. It is the highest manifest thing in the universe. When this thing takes avatara in the universe for the first time, there must be a profound significance behind this. And this profound significance must be the awareness of the Lord, the Almighty. In your body are placed the various chakras of the Tantra, the instrument. Tantra means instrument. What are these chakras for? I mean, people spend a lot of time cleaning them, taking them out, putting them in salt water, putting them back again. But for what purpose? You see, you have to think, for what purpose? Try and think, why are you here, instead of doing things routinely. The chakras raise the awareness of the human individual from step to step, higher and higher, until it can reach the throne of the Almighty Himself. That is their purpose. So those who do not use it for that are like a man who has a Rolls Royce, who takes it apart, puts it in oil, puts it back together again, starts the engine and goes nowhere. You see? The whole Tantra has been given to you to raise your attention to the Absolute, the Almighty. The whole of Sahaja Yoga has been given to you to raise your attention to the Absolute, the Almighty. Your friends are given to you for this purpose. And the Shri Adi Shakti herself has appeared before you to give you this. Now, there is no doubt that the Shri Adi Shakti is Mahamaya. What does Mahamaya mean? And why is she Mahamaya? You see, you should question these basic fundamentals. After all, God is the prime architect of the universe. There is nothing that He does that is purposeless. You have to understand this. If we have purpose in what we do, in our limitations, how much greater is His purpose? You see, if a long time ago, more than 1400 years ago, Shri Adi Shankaracharya told human beings, you are the Absolute. There is no difference between you and God the Almighty. Advaita. Now if you are the Absolute, the Atma, unless you are deluded, there can be no creation. Isn't it? Because if you are always aware that you are Atma Tattva, how can you be involved in creation? You will always be lost in meditation on your own existence. You have to understand this basic fact. So the Mahamaya was necessary for the creation. She was necessary for the evolution of the creation, because by playing out dramas for you, she evolves you. And it's only when you reach a certain level that she can liberate you from herself, so that you see beyond the Maya to the Absolute. Now, there is a saying in one of the Puranas that the Devi can only be worshipped by those who are both intelligent and brave. In other words, she cannot be worshipped by the stupid and the cowardly. This is very important, you see. We have been given brains. We haven't been given brains to sort out trivialities of life. We've been given brains to chart our course to the Almighty, the Absolute. She's not going to spoon feed you. Beyond a certain point, you have to find the course for yourself. The reason for this is that unless you do so, you are not worthy to be presented before the Almighty. Only those who, using their courage and their intelligence and the strength of their desire, can find a course, are worthy really to come before Him. You see, this is all part of the evolution of mankind. To understand and appreciate the Almighty, you have to have an awareness that is capable of receiving it. About 2 years ago, Shri Mataji came to Riyadh, and I had written a Sanskrit poem which I presented to her, and she began to complete it for me, because it was incomplete. And one of the verses was, how can I pour all this into such small cups? You see, because the awareness, the brain has not yet developed to the point that we can take the radiation, the full weight of the radiation of the Almighty into it. So how are you going to develop the brain? After all, the brain is the Agnya Chakra. You develop the brain by focusing it on the nature of the Almighty, the Absolute, contemplating it every day of one's existence. In this way, the attention goes up to it, and the nerves in the brain get refined. The petals of the Sahasrara get refined to the point that they can receive the grace of the Absolute and His awareness. The Shri Adi Shakti is His Shakti. She is the power by which all things are done. She is the one who will refine your brain for you. But you yourself have to put your attention there. Now, see, it's very easy in Sahaja Yoga, because one is left alone a lot, to put one's attention on trivialities. A chakra may catch, but what does it matter? The catch may release within 5 or 10 minutes. So why bother about it? We know that the catches move from chakra to chakra, that the movement of the Kundalini moves from chakra to chakra. So what is the purpose of concentrating on things that are trivial? In the past, you see, many great seekers came on this earth to seek God. After all, what are you seeking? What does the word seeking mean? It means to seek God. They had no Shri Adi Shakti to help them. You have it here in front of you. So you should take advantage of it and try and become fixed at that point, which is the Absolute. And you may all be here in a collective, but the relationship between you and the Absolute has to be individual, between you and Him alone. And when you see Him, you do not see anyone else. You see? It is very good to be in the collective. It is very good to be with each other, to enjoy each other's company. But your relationship with each other should be such that it fosters that ascent to the divine, the absolute. You have to be very clear. The whole purpose of Sahaja Yoga is this ascent. The great goddess herself, the Shri Adi Shakti, has a devotion to her Lord which is indescribable in human terms. The whole play between the Almighty and His Shakti is something which is one of the profoundest mysteries of mankind and of the creation. And the deepest desire of the Shri Adi Shakti is the ascent of her creation and her children to the throne of the Almighty as an offering to her Lord. Just as we, when we present an offering to Shri Mataji, if there are flowers, we take out the worst flowers. We present only the best, the most perfect. So when the Shri Adi Shakti offers to her Lord her creation, it is something at a level far removed from this. And it's only the most perfect that can be presented before Him. You see? You have to understand this. As human beings, we have no importance except insofar as we play a part in this play between the Lord and His Shakti. The entire creation could be discarded if it does not serve this purpose. Because there are only two things which are real in the universe, and that is the Lord and His Shakti. All else is superfluous to this and of no importance. At the end of the creation, only these two things will remain. So, you must not take lightly what is happening. You are the essential parts and pieces of this drama, this very profound drama, which is the basis and the internal root of the universe. Have you ever considered why the Muladhara Chakra has 4 petals? What does this mean? Why 4? It is 4 because if you combine the Lord and the Shakti in the Sushumna, where their feet rest, you will find 4 feet resting. It is the ultimate, that is why it is the ultimate purity, because it represents the combined feet of the Lord and His Shakti, and that is given as a throne to the Sun, Ganesha, the Lord, the Omkara, to sit on. These things are very important, very profound, and to be the seat of the play of the Lord and His Shakti, one needs extreme purity, extreme wisdom, and extreme awareness of what is happening. The whole purpose of this creation is that and that alone. The creation was not made for you to iron saris in, to worry about your dhobi in. I mean, these are totally irrelevant. They won't even last a century, leave alone eternity. Nor is organization there. You can organize till you are blue in the face, but unless the desire of the Absolute works, you will not get another Sahaja Yogi. You have seen this, many of you. We had many wonderful experiences in the early days when we turned up at empty halls in spite of massive publicity. You see, you do not do anything. Lord Krishna, when He came, He said, you do not do anything. I do it all. So the human being who deludes himself into thinking he is doing, he is not doing. He said, act. You have to act, but leave the results of your actions to me. So act without expectation is what he is saying. Now, how are you going to awaken what you are going to do? You see, when one acts, everyone knows what the left side is, what the right side is. One acts by the right, using the power of desire of the left. This is something that is well known to everybody. Through which chakra does one act? Which is the chakra of activity? Who will answer that? Of creation. You must all know this. It's basic stuff. The Swadhisthana. Okay. The Swadhisthana is on the right, is it not? And the Shuddhicha is on the left. So what is the bridge between the desire of God the Almighty and action? It is the left Swadhisthana chakra. Correct? And that is why all the boots go and sit there, to disconnect your action from your desire. Very simple, you see. Wherever the boots hit hard, you must know that is an important chakra. Now, you see, although we are human beings, we are, by the grace of God, enlightened souls. This means that the entire tantra of the universe is present in miniature within us. This Shri Mataji has done. As she said, I've placed you there. Now what you do with yourself is your affair. Now, as the Shuddha Ichcha of the universe, does everyone know what the Shuddha Ichcha is? The Shuddha Ichcha is the pure desire of the universe. Now what is the pure desire of the universe? The pure desire of the universe is God, the desire of God Almighty Himself. As this flows through the Ida Nadi of the universe and is carried by the goddess Shri Mahakali to be placed, deposited within the Kundalini, so this flows within your left sides, or can flow within your left sides if you desire it, to inform your activities. Now you see, unless you are connected, your activities are without meaning. It is like ants scurrying around, not knowing what they are doing. So first one has to establish within oneself the pure desire. Let it flow within your Ida Nadi. How do you do that? It's very simple. You pray to Shri Mataji and you say, you are the Shuddha Ichcha of the universe and I worship you as such. If you just do that, pray to her as this, she'll flow with such force within your Ida Nadis that she'll break anything that is in your left Swadhisthana and flow into the right to inform your activity. You cannot catch on the right side if your left side is strong. See? So this is the first stage. If you do that, the Shuddha Ichcha, you don't need to do more than this. The Shuddha Ichcha will flow through all your chakras. It will eventually break open the barriers that are in your brain and infuse with enlightenment and nectar every nerve fiber and cell within your brain. As it does that, your whole consciousness and awareness will be altered. As it is altered, your awareness will be filled with the awareness of the Absolute. As it is filled with the awareness of the Absolute, you will see Shri Mataji clearly for what she is, which is the Shakti of God Almighty Himself. You will not say Shri Mataji did this, Shri Mataji did that, all the Maya and the play. Some people feel tragic 1 minute, happy the next. This is all nonsense. If you are based in yourself, you remain absolutely stable in the sight of your parents, in the sight of the Almighty. You do not shift from day to day. You do not doubt yourself. You cannot become nirvikalpa until you know this. Because part of the nirvikalpa is not just doubting God or Shri Mataji. It's very easy not to do that. It's not doubting yourself as an extension of them, because as Shri Mataji said, she's made every single one of us into a part of her body. So to doubt oneself is in a sense to doubt her. Now people try to avoid recognizing what has been done to them by getting realization in Sahaja Yoga. They do not want to see that they've been made part of the body of God Almighty Himself, in a sense, of His Shakti. Because this means that you can't behave in the same old way as you used to behave. You can't be attached to the same old things that you used to be attached to. You have to change, you see. Ready? Okay. And this is something that people don't understand. And this is an avoidance of Sahaja Yoga. This is a running away from it. The essence of Sahaja Yoga is the fact that human beings have been taken, they have been given realization, they have been made part of the body of the divine, and they have been given the opportunity to raise their awareness to the highest levels, to attain God realization. That is it. It's very simple. Everything else is a waste of time. And one has to recognize that although we may be Sahaja Yogis, we do not run the universe. The universe is run by us. Run for us by the Almighty. And run by us for the Almighty. We cannot decide this has to happen, this has to happen. We have to have 20 people next week. It cannot happen. God decides how many people He wants. He decides where and when. You just have to be instruments. Not one of us can change the universe even so much unless we do it on the crest of a wave which proceeds from the Almighty and work as instruments. The old days of Siddhic yogis who ride on clouds and transform mountains and hurl thunderbolts are over, you see. That was meant for people who are right-sided, who wanted to do things themselves. That is not us. We are parts of the body of the goddess, and each one of us has to be like a nerve cell. When the brain tells us what to do, we have to do it. As such, we are all collective. That is the true collectivity. And if each of us recognize that we are a nerve cell in the brain of the goddess, permeating a whole being, then the whole boundaries between nationalities and this and that, which keeps our yogis apart, dissolves. We all realize we are one, we are the same, but each one of us is individual, and each one of us has an individual relationship to the Almighty. You see, all sorts of misidentifications fall away. And one speaks a common language, no doubt about it, it is real. And this is the common language of vibrations. If you are there, you do not know how, but you communicate with people who have a different language. It's so simple, really. So I wish, really, in this lecture to make you aware of what has been given in Sahaja Yoga, what has been done by the great goddess in her absolute nature, and for what purpose, so that you do not waste neither time nor energy on other things. There is nothing greater than this. And since the goddess herself is all-powerful, beyond time, beyond everything, so your awareness has to be of a nature that can comprehend that and be one with that awareness. For you can become one with her in awareness, no doubt, and see things as she sees things. But for this your brains have to develop, you see. So this is what one has to do. And really the rest of it is not important. At that level it doesn't matter how time passes. At that level it doesn't matter whether there are miracles or not, because the whole concept of miracle is non-existent. Everything follows the desire of the Absolute. Who makes the rules that arbitrates between a miracle and non-miracle? It's human beings. It's not God. For God there is no such thing as a miracle. Everything is possible to Him. So what I'm saying is hitch your awareness higher. Hook it at a higher level. Keep it there. So that you see really what is happening. And do not, in spite of everything that has been given, continue to move in the same circles, low circles, that one inhabited before one's realization. This is very important. This is so important that I do not know how to say it. Work to increase the structure and capacity of one's brain so that it can comprehend that which is absolute. I do not know if there's anything more to say to this. I remember once, a long time back, when I first met Shri Mataji, Gregoire was there, lots of other chappies were there jumping around with me. And I remember early one morning, after we'd slept with her in her flat in London, I was talking to her and she says, you see, we were talking about Maya. And I said, Mother, I wish I could go beyond Maya. And she said to me, this was some 7 or 8 years ago, she said to me, one day you will catch me. She said, you will catch me. And what I'm trying to say is that this is what we should all aim for. Try to go beyond that. And you can only go beyond that when you can touch the feet of the Absolute. The Absolute is like a mountain peak which rises above the clouds. You cannot rise above the clouds until you rest on that mountain peak. So you cannot rise above Maya. It is impossible until your awareness touches the feet of the Absolute. Because above Maya there's nothing but the Absolute, the Atma Tattva. You know, the Atma Tattva rests in the heart of God the Almighty and ascends to dance in the Sahasrara as Sadashiva. So the heart is a very important organ. Rajabai said that when Shri Mataji gave him realization, she said, "You young men have such hard hearts." And she was true in a sense. Most people do have hard hearts. Not necessarily their fault. It may be the result of their experiences in this world. But one's heart should be like a lotus. I don't know how many of you have touched a lotus, but the petals are so soft, like silk. The heart of a man should be as soft as that. See, we have got our realization, regardless of everything we have done, by the grace of God the Almighty, by His compassion, profound love for mankind, for the children of His Shakti. He has granted it. He says, forget everything, forget it. Forgive, you see, I'll forgive them. We have to be the same in our hearts to the rest of mankind. When the disciples of Christ, Peter, I think, once came to Christ and asked him, "How often should I forgive my brother? 7 times?" And he said, "No, 70 times 7. But what he meant was infinitely. See, one cannot be a good Sahaja-yogi, this is my belief, unless one is kind and one is gentle. Kindness and gentle doesn't mean weakness. It means being soft, trying to further the other person from one's heart, caring for what Shri Mataji once called in her lecture, caring for his hitta, trying to see how to do that which is best for him, how to manipulate him in such a way that he rises. It means going beyond oneself. You see, when someone is harsh with you, is he harsh with you? If you are Atma, how can he be harsh with you? If you are the Atma, you can bear it all. And in spite of that, try and resolve. The only thing we cannot really be expected to tolerate is any insult to the goddess herself. There we have to be strong and firm. But this doesn't mean that we take justice into our own hands. Justice belongs to the Almighty, not to us. Christ also said, "Judge not that ye be not judged." He made it very clear that we have no right to judge. We're not going to be sitting there at the end writing out who should go to hell and who should go to heaven. It's going to be done by someone else. So we cannot judge. We have to leave it to God to judge and for us to execute. We cannot abrogate to ourselves any of the qualities of the Almighty, such as justice, judgment, decisiveness, planning. These belong to Him. We merely execute these. But when we are kind to our fellow man, to any living thing that moves, within the context of its dharma on this world, we make the Lord happy. By this I don't mean that one goes around like the Jains, not trying to kill insects, because it is in the dharma of insects to be crushed beneath the feet of man. We've been both created this way, that it's an inevitable outcome of living a normal life. One doesn't go crazy, you see. We have to eat chickens. I mean, it doesn't mean you don't slaughter a chicken to be kind to it. But you have to live within the boundaries. But there is no place for unnecessary cruelty in this world. The Lord is not cruel. And if we are to partake of His essence and of His nature, we have to be like Him. So, the message I'm trying to give you is that in spite of all the splendor that surrounds the goddess, and there must be, because she is, after all, the Shri Adi Shakti, do not forget that the deepest desire in her heart, the Shuddha Ichcha, is to raise you to the feet of her Lord as offerings worthy of Him. And in all her drama, she tries constantly in her movement to bring you to that point. And I tell you that there's nothing else in the universe worth bothering about except this fact. If you love your mother, try to be worthy to be offered by her to her consort. And if you love your father, try to be worthy to be offered to him. And if you love them both, this will work out inevitably, because their love will work through your heart, and the two will mingle, and you cannot help but ascend. Live by your heart, not by your brains. At least not by your egos and superegos, and question the inner desires of your heart. Do not question them. You cannot question them. They are beyond logic. Live by your heart. If you express your heart, you will lead to such a sense of satisfaction with life that you cannot be angry with anyone. You will be so happy all the time that it will be effortless for your parents to lift you to that level which was your destiny at the moment of your creation. That is all I have to say. Jai Shri Mataji.
करूँगी. I had a special purpose in coming to Ganapatipule. Apart from that, it was a very beautiful place and very relaxing for all of you. The reason is, I found this place had vibrations which will clear you out very easily, first of all. But you have to desire it, really, ardently. You should have that desire, otherwise the Kundalini may not rise. That is very important point. That you have to desire your ascent, nothing else. It's not a place you have come for holiday or just for some sort of a relaxation or for some enjoyment or sleeping or anything. But you have come here for a penance, for a tapasya. To clear out yourself completely. This is a place of Sri Ganesha's temple, which is not very much frequented by people and is still very, very pure. And I thought the Ganesh principle will be awakened in you, which is the source of everything. Sri Ganesha's principle, as you know, in a very large way or expansive way, we call it the innocence. But we do not know the intricacies and the details to which it can go and work it out. Sri Ganesha's innocence has a tremendous power to purify people, to make you holy, to make you auspicious. A person who has got Sri Ganesha's principle awakened is auspicious in his presence. Such a person, whenever he moves, things move in a direction that the coefficients works out. It becomes absolutely auspicious. Auspiciousness cannot be achieved without Sri Ganesha's help. Now this auspiciousness, now we Yogis believe into, that there is something like auspiciousness by which everything works out smoothly, everything we feel is done by God's power, that we are all the time wanted by nature, loved by surroundings and the atmosphere. But this understanding can only come if you have that pure desire within you that you have to ascend. You have come here to ascend, not to enjoy yourself or a place of resort or something like that. This principle is very much awakened, as you see, in the local people here. And how Spartan they are, how hard-working. They have been awake for days together and nights together, but still they are very, very relaxed and they do not need any help. Just in that enthusiasm they are working. So the second blessing of Ganesha is that he is playful. He is prasanna. He is always a pleasing personality. He dances, he pleases you, he has ways and methods of pleasing you. And in the same way, a person who has that awakened Ganesha within him is all the time a very pleasing personality. Not a drown out faces, not a face that repels you, the face that makes you feel unhappy, but is a personality that makes you very easy, very understandable, likable, that sort of a personality you develop. But so far as the life has been abroad, I have seen that the situation has been very different. And the aggressiveness and the quarrelsomeness, we can say the hurting capacity is so overdeveloped that you have to somehow or other succumb completely to the auspiciousness of Sri Ganesha. Because all the instruments that were to be used for spreading Sahaj Yoga or for spreading the love of God, for spreading auspiciousness of God, working out His designs and plans and adjusting yourself to the laws of God's desires, it was very important that we should have had our instruments done in such a way that they were absolutely useful. On the contrary, we have misused them, spoiled them, and have completely made them unholy. So that's another point. We have to look at ourselves here. What have we been doing to ourselves? What is the need for us to make ourselves unholy? And why should we be unholy? When Sri Ganesha is there, we can make ourselves very holy, auspicious. Now, no use believing that we are perfect. Those who believe like that cannot ascend. Everybody must know there are lots of imperfections, and these imperfections in me that should be conquered with and to be found out. Only in the light of Sri Ganesha's innocence you can see. A little child can show you how we are stupid and foolish and how we behave So many times you must have seen children come out of with such utterances that the elders are put to shame. So the childlike temperament can be developed if we awaken the Sri Ganesha's principle within ourselves, which is a very, very powerful, deity, very powerful deity. Because a child, supposing one child is lost, say a child runs away, or if a child is hanging somewhere on a tree, the whole community will rush to take out the child. The concern will be there. Even in the Western countries I have seen, if one little girl is tortured, everybody is worried about the child. Everybody opposes that. Maybe there are some horrible people, no doubt. Maybe there are more than there are here. But one gets concerned. So child itself is a very sort of a source of getting all the protection from everywhere. Because the child is growing. The child is growing. Everybody wants to help the child. So in the same way, when this Ganesha principle is developed into you, you realize that you have to grow. You are still growing. A little child learns so many words in such a short time that we cannot learn afterwards when we are grown up. Say after 60, if you have to learn even 3 sentences is impossible. So the child is growing, and his curiosity and his capacity to know more things is also very much sharp, and he starts learning more. He doesn't think he knows everything. The ones who think like that are not yet born properly. I don't know anything, I have to know this, I have to know that, I have to know that. I don't know anything so far. And the children do it so easily, you must have seen. Little bit you do this way or that way, they immediately follow. So what you have to do is to know that you are still in a child stage, you are growing. We have to humble down and we have to know a lot. And from wherever we have to know, we have to know. The arrogance, the idea that we know a lot itself is very, very dangerous for the growth. Very dangerous. And that is what one has to give up and should know that we do not know anything, but we have to know. Many people who come to Sahaja Yoga settle down as we are Sahaja Yogis, but don't know a word about Sahaja Yoga. So many of them, especially the ladies, I am surprised. They know very little about Sahaja Yoga. It's rather surprising. Now in Sahaja Yoga there's nothing like women and men. Everybody has equal rights. It's not the job of women just to sing songs. No, it's not. They have to know each and everything about Sahaja Yoga. They have to know what are the diseases, how they are cured, what are the mental problems, how are these chakras are made. Everything they have to know, the medicine, they have to know the psychology, they have to know the divine powers. Everything they have to know how it works out. And that ignorance will never be forgiven. Because you are the ones who have to talk about it to us. The third thing is, a child is never a silly person, never silly. He never does something in a silly way. While you see many people who are brought up in a very strict way become suddenly very silly at an old age. Very silly. This phenomena I see much more in the West. Suddenly they become trying to be very youngish type and just they'll clap like this and start behaving in a very funny manner. I used to wonder what's wrong with them. Why are they behaving like this, you see? But it is, I think, they're bottled up. And then suddenly they try to behave, but they are not. A child is never a silly person. On the contrary, if somebody is silly, they say, he's a clown. They come and tell me, he's a clown, He's not all right. Or he's a buffoon. Whatever words they know, they'll express. They don't like. They start wondering, what's the matter with this person? So all these things come to us because we have no idea that we have to grow in a steady understanding, awareness. Not in how you express yourself in Sahaja Yoga, how you do things in Sahaja Yoga. It is how you are aware of it inside. In the same way, emotionally, when I say something, I don't think people understand what I mean. Now I said that you put on bindis. Again I find you are just the same. At least here you should. This is Ganesha's mark. They would not put it. So many times I've said, how much the time does it take to put it on? Now, this is a very common things that are going on. Now, another thing is that, you see, a child doesn't want to be disabled at all. Today one child had gone for a bath and he was coming back. His father wanted him to see me. He said, no, my clothes are not all right, my hair are all disabled. How can I see mother? So he went back, he put some oil on his hair, properly dressed up smartly. When we were young, we always knew all the Western people were very smartly dressed, properly groomed. They would never come with disabled hairs. But he said, no, my hair are disabled, how can I go and see mother? So we have to give up these funny ideas of fashions and all that, because this will all go away. You lose your hair, you'll all become bald-headed, it will look very funny. There's no wisdom in it. But a child has a wisdom, he wouldn't come. He dressed up himself properly, then he came and stood before me. And this is what we have to understand, that our appearances are the expression of our inner being. We have to do certain things because we do not know how to accept things, how to do things like a child does. A child, if you tell him anything, he obeys and he listens. Otherwise the child is not a normal child. In India, if there's a child who doesn't obey, they just thrash him nicely, put him in the room for 3 days, make him starve, put him right. Nothing doing. That doesn't mean that people are harsh here with children. Nobody kills children or anything. But you have to be very, very careful with your children. You shouldn't allow them to be lousy, to be untidy, to be languid, like lotus eaters, you see, or like people who have no smartness about them. You are all such yogis and you have to be like that, in that way. A child's another attribute is that he hits always the principle of everything. Always the principle. A child sees to the principle of everything. And the questions they ask sometimes is so remarkably collective that I am surprised how they go to that point. They never waste time in frivolous things. Never. Never waste time in frivolous things, talking of frivolous things, nothing of the kind. I haven't seen children talking about their clothes or about the seats they have got or the houses, nothing of the kind. They are busy doing some construction, very busy, you see. You ask them what are doing. See, we are trying to tie up the whole of the airport or the whole of Bombay. Like that they will tell you. They are very busy people. If you see realized souls who are children, they are always worried about the collective. And that's what should be your situation, that you should be all the time worried about the collective as a child is. That how I will help the collective. But not worried about yourself. What is my personality? Am I that impressive? If I go to people, will they believe that I am something, a realized soul? Or I am like other women or other men who are going to the hairdressers and having all kinds of hairdressing up and wearing all kinds of funny dresses to impress others? Am I looking like a saint? Am I behaving like a saint? These things should come to you very easily. If you tell a child you are a Sahajogi, they say so. I am a Sahajogi. I can't do that. All the nonsense starts after they develop their ego. And then they start behaving in a funny way. And it develops much more in the West earlier. But here it takes time. And the children are just accepting whatever God gives them. To them, alertness is so natural. If there's an aeroplane is going, they'll say, bye-bye aeroplane. Then there are ships are going, bye-bye. To the sea, they'll say, all right, sea will come and see you tomorrow, you see. Everything is within their mind. To them, everything is there. They'll come, you ask them, how did you like it? Oh, we liked the grass very much, it was nice and everything they will tell you, the details about everything. So alert. And then they'll say, oh, why didn't you do this? You could have put some flowers here, you could have done some flowers, would have looked nice for the hut or something, a suggestion they will give. Very particular on cleanliness, anything. And in childhood, children get up very early. All the children in childhood get up very early. It's a nuisance for mothers, but they get up very early. And that's how I also get up very early. To getting up early is a childlike behavior, because the birds are singing, the sun is rising, such beauty in the sky, and why am I sleeping? They'll wake up the whole house, but people don't like it. You see, sometimes they beat. Not in India. In India, people try to get up early in the morning. It's regarded something very dharmic and good. Even if we sleep late, we'll get up early in the morning. That's one thing. Then you can sleep in the daytime. But nobody sleeps over this thing like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Nobody sleeps like that. I mean, I have a problem. I don't know what to do with myself. You can sleep in the daytime for a while if you want to overcome the night's sleep. And you can be quite fresh. You can be quite all right in the evening if you sleep for a while. But a child doesn't think too much. He doesn't plan too much. You see, he makes fun out of everything. You take them anywhere, say you take them to an airport. There's nothing to be played about. They'll find out some groove somewhere, they'll jump on that, they'll get height there, play there. They can make play out of any gross stuff that we think is useless, they'll make out of it. A very constructive and playful. And that is what we have to be. Make play out of your life. Everything is meeting people, talking to them. It should come naturally, not artificially. Also, some people, I have seen a habit of putting up an expression all the time, like a smile or a frown or this thing. Children are never like that. Their muscles are so supple. They react all the time. Sometimes when they are happy, when they are unhappy, everything, you see, the muscles are all the time are acting like that. Nobody is tense. That's why we have problems with our faces, you see, because we keep them in one style, you see. And these days, the more miserable you are regarded as more handsome. That's finished. Or else some people just go on smiling all the time like this. It's very bad. Or all the time absolutely feeling unhappy. You should allow the action of our emotions to be expressed on your face. I am told that it is said that there should be no emotions shown on your faces. I mean, I can't understand. What is the use of such a personality who doesn't know or show any emotions? When you are not a stone, are you? So all these foolish, stupid ideas which are given to us should be given up. And we should smile, we should laugh, natural. We should talk to people in a natural way. And a child is extremely dignified. Shri Ganesha dances with his dignity. He doesn't do frivolous, nonsensical things. In his rise and in his fall and in his movements and steps is nothing but his weight. So something cheapish he doesn't do. In the same way, there should be dignity throughout. Dignified behavior should be within us. Now you have to judge yourself how far you have become Shri Ganesha within yourself. Are you an ascent? You think of cheating others, spoiling others. Like my television, I was amazed. I mean, I can never think of spoiling a television and this and that. These ideas, from where do they come into your heads? Why should we? I've never done it all my life, something like that. You know that I've always paid every duty, everything. Why should we do such a nonsensical to spoil the television and spoil it, make it look cheaper? This why for what? How much are you going to save out of it? But all these ideas come into your heads, I just don't know from where. Why cheat? We are Yogis. We cannot cheat anyone. Or you can tell the customs, this is the situation is. If you allow, we'll go, otherwise we'll stay. There is a negative attitude, never comes to children. They are so plain and simple. Once we had gone, I must tell you how children are so simple. Once we had gone to inside a port, and my nephew gave me 2 tins of cheese, you see. And we were bringing it out. So my daughter was a very small girl. So when we were coming, he asked, do you have anything? I said, we have some 2 tins of cheese. Yes, yes, and we are going to eat it also. See, we have opened one and we are eating. The custom fellow was so impressed by her innocence. He says, for your eating? Yes, yes, for our eating we have taken it. Is it all right? He said, it's all right. You see, the simplicity and innocence is itself is a certificate for you. Not these cunning methods. What is there? I mean, precisely on the phone, I tell them, oh Baba, for heaven's sake, I'll pay every duty, you don't have to do anything, just put this thing there, tell that it is mine, you don't have to do anything, declare it, this, that. Why? Where is our mind going? It's all right. How much are we going to lose in there? How much have we gained so far, money? What do we have? Saving money here, saving money there. Children don't do like that. No, they don't. Like my grandson, he was saying, why do you stay in this wretched place, very bad vibrations in London? I said, you see, your grandfather has to stay here for earning money. He said, money? Why do you need so much money for? Why do you need money? Why don't you come to India? I said, you need money. So when my husband came back, he took out a 2p. He said, you want money? Have it. Now put it on your head. Why do you want to have money? And my husband didn't know where to look. You want money? All right, have it. Put it on your head. He was a little boy, you see. But interest in money starts later. As soon as there's money, we start looking at it when we grow up. Otherwise, we don't. All these funny interests start growing later on. What is for Ganesha? Money is the dust of his feet. What for him gold? What for him anything? Whether he wears a crown of gold or he doesn't wear anything makes no difference. He's there. His head is just the same. Out of respect, out of adoration, people might give him gold or anything just to be satisfied. It's all right for him. What does it matter? And any child who is a real child will not accept anything from anybody else. Nothing. But if he takes, he will think, well, how should I return it back? Always. I know my own grandchildren have done it. You see, if you give them something, they'll make a heart, put inside that, write it down nicely. And when I come out of my bathroom, they'll give me that heart, you see, that thank you very much for this and that. But when we grow up, we even forget to thank people. We take everything for granted. We don't have that. We just think we have to judge everyone all the time. That's not good. This is not good. Could have been better. We never think this is given to us. Be thankful. Count your blessings. But for children it's not so. If you give them a small thing, they'll keep it. This is given to me by my grandmother. I've seen this in my own grandchildren. The eldest one, when she was small, I gave her a little sari, a very small one, just for her to wear. So when I went there, she said, you see, Nani, I must tell you one thing serious is happening. I said, what? You see, the sari you gave me, I've kept it very carefully, but my mother is trying to be funny. I said, what happened? You know, she didn't give it to anyone, but she showed it to some people she should not have shown it. Very seriously. They're so sweet and so beautiful when they say things. Like once I had given her a Wendy house, and in Wendy house she made it nicely. She called her mother, I made a very nice house for you, come along. So my daughter is rather tall, you see. She found it difficult. She went inside the Wendy house and sat there. And she says, so what have you got for me to eat? She said, Mummy, when you go to somebody's house, you don't say such a thing. And she laughed. And she laughed so much that she broke all her Wendy house. So she came out and she told me, Grandma, you have not given any good training to your daughters. First of all, she comes to my house, asks funny questions, and then she breaks my house. Do you do like this to anyone else? How innocent and simple that. Few things, like that there are so many things I can tell you. I've seen the way they talk and say things and all that. So simple and so good and so collective and so beautiful. In the same way we have to be. Another thing, a child doesn't have any fear. Child doesn't have any fear. Ganesha has no fear at all. In the same way, you should have no fear at all, no fear. As long as your mother is with you, why should you have any fear? Fear of this, fear of that, I'm frightened, I can't do this, I can't do that. That children never do. They'll try everything if you tell them. You should have no fear. I don't know what fear is. In the same way, you should have no fear. No fear of anything. Nothing is going to go wrong with you. But don't do wrong things. If you do wrong things, it will repel. It will work out on you. But don't do wrong things. Be straightforward. And nothing can harm you. Nothing can harm you. You have had so many experiences of this, how everywhere laid down for you, everybody is looking after you. There are so many deities who are working out things for you. But you have to be extremely careful that you do not develop this fear business. Because fear takes you to the left side, and once you go to the left side, you know the problems of the left side is, first of all, you go against Ganesha. Ganesha is standing at the base of the left. And then you develop cancers, you develop all these things, fear, and emotional problems, and all these things come. In emotions, you should be bubbling with joy. Joy is your emotion. In action, you should be thoughtless. And in ascent, you should be surrendered. That's all. It's very simple. Three mantras are very simple for children. They are like that. Today, at the base of the Shri Ganesha's hill, we have to think of awakening the Ganesh Tattva within us. For that, we have to meditate, we have to think about it, we have to put our time to it. Actually, if I were you, I may not sleep at all. I will go to the seashore, sit down there, meditate the whole time. Before breaking the Sahasrara, I kept awake for 2 nights. And I was just all alone near the sea, all alone the whole night, working it out for 2 nights. But what do? We think about our comforts, we think about this, about that. It's not so. You are here, such a chance. We get tired because we think too much. We know how to get out of this tiredness and this and that. So this is a very good chance for you. We have come here, of course it's a beautiful place and all that, but it's mainly the thing why I thought of bringing you here, that it may suddenly give you a big boost up and you might rise very high, for which I may not be able to really arrange otherwise. This kind of a ascent which is possible. Many of the Indians have not even seen this place before. It's such a beautiful place, and they are surprised that in India we have such beautiful places. And after coming here, they have felt the beauty, the auspiciousness, the wisdom of choosing this place. It's so lovable, so beautiful. But I hope I see the effects of that in you. Now, you have to go and have your food. We have a very generous man who is cooking for you. Be careful. You shouldn't spoil your health, especially for those who have to go with us ahead. So be careful. They are very generous people, my brother and the gentleman who is cooking for you. Both are competing in generosity. So you be careful. Now only the Saj Yogis from abroad and the non-vegetarians have to go first, and then the vegetarians will go, and after that we'll have some music program. That's what it is going to be. Tomorrow morning I expect you to go for meditation about 5 o'clock in the morning. Then have your bath in the sea. If I were you, I would go earlier. but it's all right. You can't be me. So about 5 o'clock, you go and meditate. Then have your bath there, come and have your tea, and then you can have your breakfast. After that, you are going to have a seminar here. We have about to finalize the marriage list, about to finalize. And maybe this evening we might be able to announce it completely before you go to sleep. And marriages are going to be done in a very different way because we don't have any horses. So we are going to use bullock carts. And if the bullock carts are brought on the from the village, if the roads are really great, as I have got the bullock carts when I travel on the would be a good preparation for a good marriage. Life is not so easy after marriage, and you have to know how to wade through it. Especially in the beginning, it's rather very funny because you just start thinking about it. Every time you start thinking, it's all nonsense. You just run away from joy. So don't think about your marriages, just enjoy it. Just jump in the sea. That's all. All right, thank you very much. May God bless. You all can go and have your food. The vegetarians have to wait for a while. Now go and finish it fast because vegetarians have to go afterwards. सुनो बेटा, वो इनको बुलाओ, पेगौर.
सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जग में संकट कारण कितने दिए अवतार, माँ कितने दिए अवतार, विश्व में तेरी महिमा, विश्व में तेरी महिमा, तू गंगा यमुना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जो भी शरण में आया सुख ही मिला उसको, माँ सुख ही मिला उसको, बैठ के दिल में ओ माँ, बैठ के दिल में ओ माँ, लौट के ना जाना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, जय निर्मल माता जी, जय निर्मल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। मानव में अवतर के कर दिया उजियाला, माँ कर दिया उजियाला, कलयुग में माया है, कलयुग में माया है, फिर भी पहचाना माँ सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निरमल माता जी, जय निरमल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना माँ सबको दुआ देना। संत जनों की धरती है भारत माता, माँ है भारत माता। इस धरती पर आकर, इस धरती पर आकर दुख से दूर करना माँ सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निरमल माता जी, जय निरमल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना माँ सबको दुआ देना। जब दिल में आए तब मधु संगीत सुन लो माँ, मधु संगीत सुन लो। हो सके जो सेवा, हो सके जो सेवा हमसे करा लेना माँ सबको दुआ देना, सबको दुआ देना माँ सबको दुआ देना। जय निरमल माता जी, जय निरमल माता जी, दिल में सदा रहना माँ सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना, माँ सबको दुआ देना। श्री महालक्ष्मी महासरस्वती महाकाली त्रिगुणात्मिका कुंडलिनी साक्षात् श्री आदि शक्ति माता जी, श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री आदि शक्ति माता जी, श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। त्वमेव साक्षात् श्री कल्की साक्षात् श्री सहस्रार स्वामिनी प्रदायिनी माता जी श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। श्री निर्मला देव्यै नमो नमः। बोलो श्री भगवती माता जी श्री निर्मला देवी की जय।
you can just watch the feet of Shri Mataji. See if you can watch her lotus feet without thinking. Mother, let me put all my problems, let me surrender all my problems at your lotus feet. Let me surrender all my ego, superego, conditionings. Your lotus feet. So with complete devotion, we can put our right hand on the heart and we'll offer some names at the lotus feet of Shri Mataji, the lotus feet of Adi Shakti. O Shri Adi Shakti Mataji, may all be auspicious. May you be pleased to permit us to offer these adorations humbly at your lotus feet. May Mother Kundalini keep us forever in your divine presence. And may our collective attention rest eternally at your lotus feet. Unfold our hands. So I will say the phrase, you just say salutations to you again and again. Shri Mataji, you conceived Sahajogis in your heart and gave them birth from your Sahasrara. Salutations to you again and again. With your incarnation, countless realized souls have taken their birth to further their evolution. Salutations to you again and again. With your incarnation, Shri Mataji, true seekers of the ancient past took their birth to have their sahasraras opened by you. Salutations to you again and again. Shri Mataji, you founded Vishwa Nirmala Dharma, the universal pure religion of realized souls. Salutations to you again and again. Your silent discourses give subtle spiritual knowledge and experiences and take us into the depth of our spirit. Salutations to you again and again. You are the one whose joy makes the world joyous. Salutations to you again and again. You are the one whose power of love awakens pure love for humanity. Salutations to you again and again. You are the one whose power enlightens our attention. Salutations to you again and again. You are the one whose grace washes away all sins. Salutations to you again and again. You are the one whose mere glance raises the kundalini of thousands of seekers. Salutations to you again and again. Even a speck of dust from your lotus feet is enough to take us across the ocean of this mundane life. Salutations to you again and again. You are the one whose name is the most powerful mantra. Salutations to you again and again. You are the one who bestows supreme wisdom through self-knowledge. Salutations to you again and again. You are the one whose form is the origin of meditation, whose lotus feet are the origin of puja, whose words are the origin of mantra, and whose grace is the origin of moksha, that is, complete liberation. Salutations to you again and again. You have taken your children into your being, and in meditation you reveal that you reside in their hearts. Salutations to you again and again. You are the ocean of compassion and rescue your children, forgiving their mistakes made in ignorance. Salutations to you again and again. You have evolved your children to be in the state of Ananya Bhakti, that is complete oneness of devotion. Salutations to you again and again. You are the Supreme Goddess, whose lotus feet grant protection from all the dangers and bestow the complete fulfillment of pure desire. Salutations to you again and again. You have made your children your instruments to give self-realization to as many people as possible. Salutations to you again and again. So we'll just say the last two ones. O Shri Adi Shakti, you are the one who works out the pure desire of all the seekers. Salutations to you again and again. O Shri Adi Shakti, by meditating upon your lotus feet, you purify and nourish our chakras. Salutations to you again and again. So we will just wash the feet of Shri Mataji. And slowly close the eyes. To see if we can reach the thoughtlessness. We do not have to do anything.